Mad Max Fury Road set the world alight in 2015 and earned huge Oscar buzz whilst doing it. George Miller's passion project almost didn't happen. Mel Gibson was replaced by Tom Hardy in the lead role, and boldly, after the disaster of Auntie Entity in Beyond Thunderdome, Miller cast another female as the offsider. Thoughts, Gow? Women in Mad Max?
This is good.
Okay, good. Let's leave it there. No one knew, including the cast and crew, that rhymes, just how Fury Road would turn out, but George Miller had a vision, and what became the end product could be considered a modern action masterpiece as well as miraculous. G-Man, welcome to Valhalla.
Great to be here on Fury Road.
Mm.
Yeah, like I think this works really well.
Yeah.
As the third installment of the Mad Max series.
It's a great end of the trilogy.
It's perfect.
Oh, yeah, mate, and I'll tell you what, we've just survived our own version of Fury Road. We're still surviving it, Cyclone Alfred.
Yeah, it's taking its toll
The stuff
on the old GC.
The stuff that we do for the listener, fronting up here, Fury Road, and up there on the land, who's braved the most benign of conditions for the last 5 days.
I think it may have drizzled last night up on the land.
I think it drizzled, and I think 6 chickens survived quite comfortably. Daniel, welcome. How are you?
I'm well. Yeah, not more than a sun shower up in my particular slice of paradise. While yous were getting shat on from a major height. We did think that my chicken flock would end up in Perth with what was predicted. However, it was, fairly benign is a nice way to say it. Still going to put my hand up for the handouts. I did notice Albo said that you could get some handouts. So I've got Google Alerts set to handout. So I'll be following that up in the morning. But yeah, other than that, came out fairly unscathed.
Look, I was having a chat outside this afternoon to my neighbour. I don't know if I told you though, G-Man. 820 mils in his rain gauge across the road. So it was a big 4 days. It was a big 4 days.
Mils or points?
Well, we call them mills here in the city. Up on the land there, it's probably points.
Different gauge.
Probably points. Look, we are Born to Watch, the movie podcast where we don't take ourselves or the movies too seriously, unless, of course, it's the Snorbs Report.
Snobs Report! Snobs Report!
Snobs Report! We were going to have a version of the Snobs Report tonight, and it would have been a good one, I think.
Yeah.
Damien can't make it down the highway due to the damage of flooding and everything that's gone on over the weekend. Our love goes out to him. He's sorely missed. And I know that the Snorbs Report will be sorely missed. Overs and unders, gents.
Thoughts and prayers for the little redhead kid in Vicky Point. Do you think emergency services go to him last because of his Fanta pubes?
I think there's a... Look, yes, I do. Short answer, yes.
As do I.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a triple threat. Quadruple threat.
Really?
Maybe they get first to him.
You got to save icons.
You do.
Also, his pubes are the same colour as the trucks, of the fire trucks. So they probably feel for him a little. He could be a mascot.
He's a brand ambassador, exactly.
You got Anthony Michael Hall living in the neighbourhood.
Well, this
you
is
got to help him out.
This is it. Mikey, old Mikey. Overs and unders, gentlemen. 2015 movie. Not often do we do a movie that's 10 years old. I'm just going to be very, very easy here. Just set it at 1 a year. At 10. And I know this is an interesting one. G, overs and unders 10?
I'm under. I'm on 3.
3?
Yeah. Now, I watched this. I'm pretty sure I watched it with you.
Yep.
First time.
Yep.
And I quite liked it. And I watched it again a few years ago. I mean, I've seen parts of it, bits of it, but I'd say a full watch. And then I watched it again the other night. But I reckon between 3 and 5, there'd be the most.
Yep.
But I can remember vividly, like definitely 3 times I've seen it.
Yeah. Dan, you thoughts? Over and unders 10?
Yeah, I'm unders like Plims's golf mate, the massive dork.
Okay. Have you got lady hips as well?
I do not. Good dancing at Plims's 50th too, unders. I really appreciated it.
Yeah. Look, I think I'm about on the knocker, probably 10 or 11. Saw it at the movies. Now, I saw this at the movies. I can't recall whether we all saw this together. There was a 3D experience to this movie as well. It did come out in 3D. I did see it in 3D, but I also did see it at the movies in 2D. I saw it twice at the movies. So yeah, and then it was.
I didn't see.
Have you ever seen a movie in 3D that you really appreciated it being in 3D? I'm on record as saying 3D licks balls.
Yes,
and I could in the version I watched on the Netflix. It was obvious that they had just configured the 3D to the 2D because there was a lot of the flying things going to the center of the screen, and it was definitely the remnants of 3D. I was saying I've gone on record as saying that 3D licks the same set of ball sacks that Marvel movies do. So not a fan in the slightest. Gail, what do you think of 3D flicks?
I can't remember one that I've watched. I haven't really watched many 3D flicks. Jaws. Yep. Remember that as a kid?
No, let's talk modern 3D.
I don't think I have.
Okay.
Only with those old glasses you just got from Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Gee, I can't wait. Do you know, so I don't write many notes for these things, but for this episode, and I don't know why, I've written G-Man, posh birds, slumming it with the chroma cretins. So, and I was thinking,
I'm looking forward to seeing how that note works.
Yeah. I just noticed it in my notes, and I'm like, so we'll circle back to that.
Okay. Look, Dan, just going back to your original question, 2 movies spring to mind that I think were not just good in 3D, but great. The original Avatar. It was probably one of the first real movies that were filmed purely for 3D.
Now, would we refer to Avatar as a real movie?
No. Yes, it is a real movie. It
seems to me a bit like when Goobs called Field of Dreams.
It is.
Real.
No. What I mean is, it was the first movie that was filmed purely for 3D. Right? They developed the technology to do it, and they filmed it in 3D. That was an immersive experience in 3D. It was excellent. Unbelievably good. The other one that I saw in 3D that I think that was very good as well was Life of Pi.
Okay, I like that. I like the book.
Yeah. So have you seen the movie?
He's a bit of a bullshitter, isn't he? Hey?
He is a bit of a bullshitter, but have you seen the movie? Because the movie is excellent.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I have not seen it.
I know of it. I don't know if I've seen it. I might.
It is very, very good. Well worth a watch. And they're the 2 that sort of spring to mind when I think of 3D movies. I saw Fury Road in 3D, and I don't think it needed to be in 3D.
I definitely didn't see it in 3D.
No, and I hate when the only thing you get, like you said, Dan. I think where 3D works is when it immerses you in the environment, and whereas it's not that shock value where you think of Jaws 3D or you think of Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah, something
3D.
Coming through the screen. Yeah,
yeah, where they're shooting a spear at you or something like that. I think that's done, and this is where the Doof Warrior dies, and the guitar comes straight at the screen with the steering wheel. That's cheap, right? I don't like that.
Yeah, see, I noticed that in the movie this time. I was like, that seemed really out of place. But now that you say there's a 3D, I get it.
So that's what that is. So look, not a great 3D experience at all.
I must say, the only time I can think of G-Man and the Posh Birds is when he used to have that gaggle of Pitwater House chicks around him at the Ivanhoe back in 96, 7. He probably had four or 5 of them sort of competing for his G-Love. And G reminded me of a young Tom Hardy, actually, when I was watching this flick. So definitely some similarities. I know that down at the Gators, there's a few blokes who cannot believe that Gow ever fingered anything, let alone a gaggle of tents. But I'm telling you, Robbo, Jobsy, Dingoes, he fucking did. He fucking did. And a lot of them were Posh Birds.
Mate, I would have had Max's talking game.
I was going to say, you've never struggled to find your voice, though, Gow. I think you've always had a voice. It's just I'm
the songbird of my generation. If you that's
are
what
the
you mean.
You are the songbird of your generation. G-Man, Why don't you tell us about Mad Max Fury Road?
All right, cool. Morgs, go choke on your Pokeball for a couple of minutes while we get through this.
Okay. We know how this works. I've still got the sign.
Fast forward, check it and see. Girl's gonna talk about the movie. Fast forward, fast forward.
Right, I'll get
Go,
your
Jimmy.
jabber over and done with.
All right, with the two taglines. What a lovely day.
Oh,
Lovely day.
And the other one,
Lovely
only
day.
the mad
Lovely
survive.
day.
An apocalyptic story set in the
Hang on,
furthest reaches of our
whoa.
planet.
Sorry, I'm going to pick you up. Seriously, one of the taglines for this film is "What a lovely day."
Yes, in all caps.
Wow, that's not very good.
no, it's not a great one. What a lovely day's
No.
not. I reckon it could have been. Could you have "I live, I die, I live again"?
You could have. That would have been a really good
Yeah,
one.
I reckon
I
that
get
would have
it.
been a
It's
good one.
It's what Nugs.
Well, welcome.
Nugs.
Nux,
says it.
Nux,
Yeah, Nugs.
Marks.
It's Mux.
Nugs.
It's Mux. It's Mux.
Mux. Malix. Uncle Nug.
Nugs.
Nugs. Sorry, Gal, I
Oh.
interrupted. Fast forward now. Fast forward.
Hold on, I'm trying to get my voice on.
Get your voice on. Find your voice. Find your voice, Rocket Dansky.
Bumblebee. An apocalyptic story set in the furthest reaches of our planet, in a stark desert landscape where humanity is broken, and almost everyone is crazed fighting for the necessities of life. Within this world exist two rebels on the run who just might be able to restore order. There's Max, a man of action and a man of few words, who seeks peace of mind following the loss of his wife and child in the aftermath of the chaos. And Furiosa, a woman of action and a woman who believes her path to survival may be achieved if she can make it across the desert back to her childhood homeland.
Now, did anyone... Now, Morgs, you must have resonated. Yeah, well done. You found your voice. I like it.
Nailed it.
You must have resonated with the green place. Did that take you back to Tina's 40th?
Yes. I have experienced the green place. It happens when you have 2 pineapple gummies in quick succession and don't wait for the effects to kick in, and then suddenly they do. Yes. I am au fait with the green place. Oh, gross.
Sure you went out there chroming, Morgs? It wasn't you chroming?
I'd give it a go.
Is that the same as rimming?
Pretty much.
Because
It's all the same on the land.
Morgs is
Tastes
quite
the
big on
same,
that.
tastes the same. Yeah.
Tastes the same. It's got a ting. It's got a bit of a metallic tinge.
I've got another note. It doesn't have a lot to do with it. But how did Andy Lee get to root Megan Gale?
Oh, you know what? I was thinking exactly that.
He looks like me. Like, you know, knockabout,
He
sort
does
of
look...
handsome bloke.
It's a
next
Morgs
door.
alike.
No, that's a Morgs alike.
he's
It's a
he's
legit Morgs alike.
And she was one of the hottest chicks on the planet at the time. And he was in the pub going, "You see that chick over there? I'm rooting her."
Yeah, I think what's his name used to give
Unbelievable.
him heaps about it.
Oh, God. Hamish.
Hamish used to give him heaps.
Mate.
Oh, yeah, because
like-
Hamish was fat Morgs at the time too, so he was just he wasn't going real good, but he's since found the burpees.
You reckon he was in the mix?
I've got one other note. Do you reckon they have hydrolite
Not
in the
bad if,
wasteland?
if your wingman's Megan Gale, though.
Yeah.
You get... Oh, no, mate. You'd be cramping for days.
Mate,
You're
all
one
I was
cramp.
thinking when he was rationing that water is that I would be on the ground with full body cramps, just not able to function, like screaming for hydrolite.
You'd be on the ground going, "Where's the Pocari sweat?"
Well,
Mate.
no, Morgs, you actually were in this movie. There's a version of you in this movie.
Right. Well, there's more likes to come, so maybe let's.
So let's not ruin
That's
it.
all.
because
That's
I
all
don't-
my notes. That's all my notes. I promise.
Okay, good. All your notes. Great. Excellent. All right. Well, let's watch the trailer. For such a movie about nothing, it's quite a substantial trailer.
Yeah.
So hang on. Strap in. Start chroming.
Lovely day.
In this wasteland, I am the one who runs from both the living and the dead. A man reduced to a single instinct.
Okay,
we
that's the
go.
best trailer we've had in 160 episodes of this. podcast.
It's a good trailer. If you don't want to see the movie after seeing that, then you're on drugs.
Yeah.
You're in the green place.
Shit drugs. Shit green drugs. Not the good ones.
You're chroming. Look.
You're rimming and chroming.
Funny, I'll tell you a story. When I was at the video shop, that a customer that would come in all the time, she was a girl.
Phelpsy.
No, it wasn't Phelpsy, but she was a young woman. She would have been about 35.
Yeah.
She used to come in all the time. She was in the movie industry. She was she did something. I don't know what she did exactly, but no, not at all. But she worked on Fury Road. So she went with the original production
out to Namibia.
She went to Namibia, but she started with the original production, which was out in the outback before the rains came, and then all the flowers came, and we'll talk about that a bit later. And then they moved it to Namibia. So pre-production went for like 2.5 years for this movie. It was massive, right? So I remember that she came back and she goes, "This is going to be a shit show." To me, we were talking about it. Then she went to Namibia. She came back and I was hanging going, "What's this movie going to be like?" I said, "What's it going to be like?" She goes, "I think it's going to be shit."
Yeah.
She goes, I don't understand what's going on. Now we're going to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got about it.
So obviously goes into the cast and their thoughts on
correct. It. So and I go, "Really?" She says, "Yeah, it was a shit show. The whole thing was a shit show. I don't really know how this is going to turn out." And then it came out in the movies and well, it was fucking amazing, but it's just incredible that one man had one vision about it and no one else had any idea what was going on. And sometimes that works. Anyway, that's just my little story about that. Critical thinking. IMDb rates Fury Road 8.1 out of 10. Certified fresh, 97% on the tomato meter.
Wow.
With an 86% popcorn meter. So critics frothed over this movie.
Yeah.
This was a critic's darling, which is something that I'd never really seen before for this kind of film.
Yeah, I think
genre flicks don't necessarily jazz their pantaloons as much as we do.
But they kept true, and that was, the way it was filmed. Morgs, you can talk more about that, where they speed up the film. We talked about that when we did Mad Max, all that kind of stuff. But they just kept really true to the stories and the characters and that kind of thing, I think, with this story.
A breath of fresh air with practical filmmaking as well.
Yeah.
Although there is a smattering, there's quite a bit of CGI, but it's used to enhance, not to, I guess.
It doesn't become part of the movie. Yeah. It enhances some parts, like the prosthetic arm and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Got a couple reviews here. Got a good one. Ben Sarks from the Chicago Reader. Even after 2 viewings, I feel as though I've only scratched the surface of Mad Max Fury Road. George Miller's action fantasy is astonishingly dense for a big budget spectacle, not only in its imagery and ideas, but in the complex interplay between them.
Yeah, I agree with that because the first time I watched it, there's so much going on and there's so many characters. I didn't get everything. And then when I watched it again, even the other night, I was like, oh, wow, okay. You put some things together. I could watch that again and pick up more things, I think.
Okay.
I think it's a good story.
Thoughts on that, Dan? Is it dense?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know how many times I've seen it because I didn't get the chance to say how many. What's the fucking thing where we say how many times we've seen it?
Overs and unders.
Yeah, because I was crapping on about the notes I made, but I've only seen this same as G only a handful of times, and I was really impressed with things I hadn't picked up on in the first few viewings when I watched it again this week. So, yeah, I reckon old Ben Sarks might be onto something.
Okay, very good. A bad review from Jeff Beck, The Blue Spot.
Oh.
Mad Max Fury Road will be a delight to anyone looking for nothing more than an adrenaline-fueled, action-packed thrill ride. But for those expecting a little more thought put into the story and characters, it will be something of a slight disappointment. So
I think there's actually a kernel of truth in there. I don't think you necessarily they don't pay off at all really with the backstory for Max. Or you could watch this as a standalone flick, not know anything about the mythology, and thoroughly enjoy this film. So old Jeff Beck might be onto something there, but probably doesn't need to be viewed through such a nego lens there, Jeff. Why don't you calm the fuck down? But yes, saying is correct. They don't spend any time with exposition or building any backstory. You're just on for the ride and enjoy it. And it's a high octane. I mean, that's the whole point, is the adrenaline fuel ride. So yeah, can't disagree.
I don't think it was ever marketed as anything else, and I don't think you're expecting anything else when you go.
You see that trailer we just saw. I mean, there was nothing else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're going to get.
Yeah.
Well, it's effect. Well, and I'll get to it in question time, but it's effectively Road Warrior on steroids.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly the Road Warrior.
It's the Road Warrior on
3
steroids.
days ago, I saw a tanker that get whole that gasoline. You want to get out of here? You talk to me.
G-Man, ordinary people. Take it away.
Now, look, we've talked about Tom Hardy before. We've done more than one Tom Hardy movie. I know we've done Warrior.
Great movie.
You guys might have done some other ones.
Rock and Roller. We've done Rock and Roller
as well.
Plays the
very young in Rock and Roller. That's where I thought of the young G and the posh birds. Actually, Rock and Roller.
Yeah, but look, I think good performance here. Great performance. He's the grizzled outsider, just doing his own thing. I thought he did really well. I thought the both of them did really well in those roles.
Yeah,
very similar.
I agree with you, but I'm going to have to pick you up there. I don't know that he was a high point in the movie for me. I think he was adequate, but I don't know that he did much.
Does he get much to do?
No. I think that's how it was written on the page.
He has 52 lines in the whole movie. Some of those are 1 or 2 liners. Like you're not.
I've got a question about it in question time. Which we'll be able to dive into it about this. What I do have is it's an interesting role, obviously taking over from an iconic actor.
Yeah.
Mel. But what I do have a little clip here with Tom Hardy explaining the motivation behind the character. So listen to this.
Listen. Max is all about, from a character point of view, a man who's got a tremendous amount of trauma and horror in his life, who wants to be left alone, who gets snatched up by somebody who makes him part of their livestock and assets. He becomes an object to them. And all he wants to do is go home, but he doesn't have a home, and he's going mad. And so he's got to get away, and in getting away, people want him back, and he just wants to get further and further and further away to get home, wherever home is. But it's not here, because wherever he touches turns to death and sadness and just misery. So in meeting the girls and meeting Furiosa, it can't end well. Nothing's good and everything hurts out there. And that's what Furiosa says to them. Everything is painful, everything hurts out here. And that's what, they're very similar characters. And of course they meet, and of course there's a relationship, an unspoken understanding and a recognition.
Yeah, I think that's a great explanation.
That explains a bit better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that helps.
I just don't get the bit. I just don't get the bit where he's looking for home, but then they finally find somewhere that's going to be peaceful, and he's sort of straight out of there.
But then he says that he goes, every place that he touches turns to shit.
Yeah, I know.
So he's just going away. Because he knows.
But that's what he's going to do forever, I guess. That's
Well,
but
I guess
anyway, that's
well, this is it. He's on the wastelands, just thumbing it on the wastelands.
It's like Jack Reacher.
he's very reacherish.
Getting into adventures.
He'd be a pretty good reacher.
He'd be a good reacher.
He'd be better than Tom
way
Cruise,
too small.
for sure.
He's way too small. The guy doing it now for the TV show, Alan Ritson.
Adam Ritson.
Adam Ritson. That's that role.
He's a good player, Adam Ritson.
Yeah, under. I don't know what I was going to say there. Anyway.
Yeah, he's good. No, he's good at the moment.
Yep. G-Man, who's next?
Look, Charlize Theron. Or Charlize Theron.
I think this is the first movie we've done with her.
It is. I was actually looking through thinking, we've done some of hers, but we haven't. Very interesting bit of a backstory with her. When she was 15, her father attacked her mother. Did you know that? And her mother shot her dead.
Oscar Pistorius style.
Yeah.
Really?
But it was legally judged to be in self-defense.
Jesus.
Wow.
Oscar Pistorius style, but not. Yeah.
But at age 16, she won a modelling competition to go to Milan because she's obviously South African.
Yes.
And then she was on the catwalks at 18. She won a scholarship and studied ballet at the Joffrey School, the prestigious Joffrey School.
Joffrey.
Did you go there, Morgs?
I have done a couple of internships there, yes, where I just boned up on my skills and different times though. However, we probably, it could be said, have the same skill set essentially.
The problem with Morgs and ballet, whenever he pirouettes, sack gets in the way.
Well, he's off balance.
It is. That's what's actually it creates counterbalance.
Yeah.
It's a counterbalance.
But actually, she's a bit like you, Morgs. She turned to acting because she injured both her knees. In your case, you didn't have calves.
There's
But
so many.
both couldn't keep going in the
so
ballet.
many.
Yeah, sure
Oh,
enough.
and you know what?
Not even with 80s leg warmers, Morgs, she couldn't keep it going.
And she's a 10 out of 10. She's a 10 out of 10. Morgs is a 1 out of 10. So it's
we are yin and yang officially. But it's interesting you brought up the nuts. We will revisit that later in the podcast. You're dropping my Easter eggs for me this week.
But yeah, 94. She started. Her mum bought her a ticket to Los Angeles. She went there and couldn't get a start, and eventually ran into an agent and got away from there. She was in the first film was Children of the Corn 3 in 95.
Terrible.
Urban Harvest. Yeah.
So the first one I remember in is Devil's Advocate. She was.
Children of the Corn. She was in a non-speaking part with 3 seconds of screen time.
What for?
Children of the Corn.
Oh, really? Wow.
Then she was in a movie called 2 Days in the Valley, and that got her the role of Tina Powers in That Thing You Do.
Oh, yeah.
So that was 96.
Tom Hanks.
And then 97, she was Devil's Advocate, Mighty Joe Young, and Cider House Rules, The Legend of Bagger Vance. So Reindeer Games, the Italian.
She's away.
She's away. And obviously won her first Academy Award for Monster in 2003.
What a movie.
And if you've ever seen that, she's amazing in that movie.
Yeah. Unrecognizable.
Super talented.
Yeah,
she's very
reminds
talented.
Me of Kate Blanchett in the real ethereal beauty, but super talented. So overcame the burden of being stunning and was still amazingly talented. So well done, both of them.
Yeah.
But look, after that, Prometheus, Mad Max, she's been in a heap of stuff since.
Yeah,
then,
she's
so
very good. So as a character, I reckon for a female, Furiosa is a bit of a dream role. That action hardened.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that I reckon there would have been a zillion actresses going for this.
Yeah. I think she does really well in this role. She's sort of made for this.
Guess what I've got?
What?
I've got a little clip.
There you go.
About the motivation for Furiosa. Listen to this.
Go.
Broken, scared, angry, disappointed, frustrated. Those were the elements of conversations that I had with George that really, really, really just got the creative part for me going, because he was so excited about creating an anti-heroic woman, a woman that didn't set out to be a hero, who was really driven by these very, very pure human flaws, things that we're told not to have or not to feel, that finally just overcome her and sets her into this motion that changes her life forever. This idea that she's kind of saving these women, to me, just didn't feel as interesting as they belong to a man who hurt her incredibly, and she's just had enough. And she's going to take these women with her, and she's going to take what matters to him the most. She's going to take the most valuable thing away from her because he took the most valuable thing away from her. So it really is the ultimate story of revenge that starts this woman's drive off. And
nothing like a good revenge story.
Yeah.
What I like about it, what I like about it is that we have no idea what's going on when she turns left and heads into the desert.
No.
And no one does. And
there's no exposition whatsoever. It's great.
I love it. And not only that, the guys on the war rig just follow her to the letter. This is where we're going now. Let's prep for this.
Yeah.
Right? There's no questions asked.
Mate, change of plans.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. And it's like, okay, cool.
The war pups just went with it.
Yeah, and it's not until
She's
obviously
the boss. Right. We'll follow you. And I think that was really interesting. And I all of the character traits that she name checked, I could spot in her performance. I think she did really well.
Yeah.
But essentially, I think she was saying, like, where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Is it night upon a fiery steed? Late at night I toss and I turn, and I dream of what I need. I need a hero. I'm old enough for a hero to the end of the night. And he's got to be strong, and he's got to be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. Anyway, that was my outtake.
Now, just before we move on, I just want to play. I just thought of something. I just want to just play the very start of that again, just for 1 second. So bear with me, everyone. There's a bit of a payoff here.
Broken, scared, angry, disappointed, frustrated. Yeah, those were the.
I was seriously concerned that Charlize Theron was sitting in the corner of my bedroom when Megan and I first had sex, and she saw what was on Megan's face.
Look, it'll get better, but no, it can't get any bigger.
Yeah, it happens. Don't worry, darling. I've got a very fast ass.
It's called the chroma curse.
Okay, G, we should probably move on from now. We love Charlize. She's amazing. Well done.
Shamon.
Shamon.
Look, there's a big Aussie supporting us here. We got Nicholas Hoult, who was mainly About a Boy. Do you remember that movie with Hugh Grant?
He's a pommy.
He was the young kid in that in 2002. Nathan Jones, all 6'11" of him.
Oh, Rictus Erectus.
Rictus Erectus. He was in Troy.
I had a brother.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he's been a strong man. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Huge bloke.
Yeah.
Hugh Keys-Byrne as
Immortan
Joe. Obviously, he was the original toe cutter in Mad Max.
Yeah.
But then there's a whole cast of people.
The character names are worth a visit to IMDb alone.
That's right. I mean,
Toast the Knowing. That's Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz's Toast the Knowing. The Splendid Anne Harrod was Rosie Huntington-Whiteley.
Yeah. Statham.
And Harry.
Capable was Riley Keough.
Yeah, she was
The Dag.
good as well. Mm.
Yeah, the Dag. I like Dags.
Dags.
I like Dag.
Cheeto the Fragile. The People Eater was John Howard.
Morgs.
He had
The
some,
Bort Farmer.
He had
The
some
Doof
bloody
Warrior.
studs. The Doof.
there
Oh,
was-
the Doof Warrior. Yeah.
And Melissa Jaffa, King Jaffe's sister.
King Joffy Jaffer.
She was keeper of the seas.
Oh, I thought it was my brother. I thought it was my brother's wife.
It was Jeffrey Jaffer. And like all this, and obviously we said before, Megan Gale, there was tons, Joy Smithers, there's tons of Aussie actors in there.
It's a huge cast.
Huge
George
cast.
and Ridley. They love a strong female lead. Gotta love that.
Yeah, they do. They do. Oh, we're forgetting, like, what about I'm gonna give it away. Here.
Angus. What's
Angus
Angus?
Sampson.
Yeah, the
Oh,
organic
mate,
mechanic.
he's excellent. He's got the most interesting head. He's just
Doesn't he? Doesn't
he's
he?
very good.
Gives us all hope.
Yeah.
But Morgs, I
Mix.
reckon this is who you are. Mux. This is who you are in
Oh,
the
God.
wasteland.
Quentin.
Yes.
Now, I have a Quentin question. Did you? I don't know if you noticed his feet, but they were going at some fucked up angles. Like, was that how he rolls, or was that
him.
acting?
That's him.
No,
Yeah.
he had brittle bone disease. That was the thing he always had when he was on with Terry or Mike Willisey when he was
Man,
young.
I used to love him.
Osteogenesis.
Yeah,
Osteogenesis imperfecta.
brittle bone disease.
Yeah. So
Good
now
interview.
people
I
would.
remember very fondly the old Quentin.
I just remember that every 6 months he'd turn up with Ray Martin on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd all froth. And
You hear about
what a
Quentin?
legend that kid is. Yeah.
Yeah. The Australia would, come to tears and
He would, and he had
You're a
such a
legend,
good
mate.
little demeanor. You know, he was such a bright kid for all the struggles he had against him.
absolutely.
Totally.
G-Man, Oscar buzz.
There was some Oscar buzz. Now we don't have to talk about it, but look, first gross domestically 154.3, internationally 226, so $380.4 million. It had a budget of $150 million.
Yeah, wow.
That's a lot of money to
That's a lot
outlay
of
for a movie.
Yeah.
but luckily for that opening weekend, 45.5. So pretty much made a third of that back straight away. But look, 300
word of mouth masterpiece too. Anyone who's seen
Yeah.
this is go and fucking. So man, I'm disappointed I didn't get to see this on the big screen. I think it would have been excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
But 3,700 opening cinemas, 5.6 weeks average run. Not bad for 2015.
Yeah.
So movies that were nominated that year, The Revenant led all nominees with 12. Mad Max came in second with 10.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right. That came in with 10. And obviously he won. Well,
Tom Hardy won Best Supporting
Hardy won
Actor.
Best
I'm pretty sure
Supporting
he
Actor,
did. Yeah.
So that's
did he? No, he
you know,
didn't. No, Leo won Best Actor.
Leo won Best Actor.
Leo won Best Actor.
They were
Best
both
picture
tough shoots as well. Like that 7
Yes.
months on Mad Max, and it was I think equal to that on Revenant. So
Yeah.
he's
Would have been a tough shoot.
sled.
Yeah.
No.
But look, Best Picture went to a movie called Spotlight.
What?
Oh, it was good. Yeah.
Incredible
Okay.
movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Incredible about the Catholic Church pedophilia.
They do.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
It's got Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, Rachel
Scarlett
McAdams.
Johansson. No, not Scarlett. Rachel McAdams. Yeah.
It is one of the great movies. Well deserved best
Okay.
Oscar winner.
Right.
Best picture winner.
But look,
John Slattery from Mad Men is in it, I believe, as well.
Inarritu.
yeah, Alejandra Inarritu. LDC obviously won, as we said before, and Best Actress was Brie Larson for Room.
Oh, The Room, yeah.
Now, we said there was nominees. There was Best Motion Picture was nominated, Best Achievement in Directing, Best Achievement in Cinematography, and it won Film Editing. It won Costume Design. It won Makeup, Hairstyling. Won 6. Sound
Won all the
mixing,
special
sound
awards.
editing,
Yeah.
visual
Yeah.
effects. Yeah. So it did well. Look,
Incredibly, George Miller's wife.
yes, it
edited
was
this
his
film.
wife. And she'd never edited one
Never
before.
edited an action film before.
There's a quote from her later on
Yeah.
about that.
Yep.
But look, money-wise, that year, Star Wars The Force Awakens
Ugh.
came up top
billion.
with 2.05 billion.
Oh, my
Jurassic
God.
World, 1.6. Furious 7, 1.5.
Sorry, was the Force Awakens that was episode 4 just redone with a chick? Was
Correct.
That the, yeah,
correct.
Far out.
Yeah.
Far out.
Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Minions rounding out the top 5.
All franchises.
Yeah. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, number 8. So The Hunger Games, part 2, number 10. So
Mockingjay.
yes, but this came in at Mad Max came in at number 20 at $380 million. Still some good freight.
Mate, I got to say, like these are gold. That's golden. It's golden ages of cinema. Like 2013 to 2018, the golden age of cinema, box office.
Lovely day.
It's all downhill from there.
Lovely day.
Is that it, G?
That's it.
Well done. I'll tell you what I'd like to do before we move on from here. I'm killing it with these clips, but I just want to talk about the. We didn't touch on George Miller in this in Ordinary People. We probably should, but because the guy's an absolute fucking legend, and not only did he, direct obviously all the Mad Max films, but he did Happy Feet. He's done, Witches v Swick. He's done a heap, but he's also from the 80s. All Australians would know the Kennedy Miller TV series and mini series, and he was involved with them. But this movie was cursed, and I just got a little interview here about him explaining about how this movie even got made, and was it cursed?
There wasn't that, because that's the nature of the film business. There's always, you have a number of things going, and there's one that sort of drives you, and but if it falls away, if it's good enough, it keeps coming back. And people kept on wanting to make the movie. Studios wanted to make the movie, so it was just a matter of getting it all sort of lined up and the right things happening. I mean, when we broke the drought in the outback of Australia, we got the flower garden. The studio, Warner Brothers, were great. They just said, well, let's wait a year, because all the locals said it will dry out, but it didn't dry out enough. So we had to move from the east coast of Australia to the west coast of Africa and Namibia, where it never rains, and we shot it, because this is a movie that's real vehicles and real people and real desert. It had to be old school. There are no flying humans. It's not a green screen movie, so we had to shoot it for real. And I think that makes the movie feel very, very authentic, and all the action and so on. Everything you see on the screen happened. I mean, we did use CG for harnessing, to erase harnesses, to change skies, to erase our tracks, and to create a big a big toxic dust storm and things like that. But for the most part, it's yeah, and it was tough, but it was worth it. Yeah.
So you're telling me that some of those guys, because when we watch it, remember there were a couple of people coming out of crashes, hitting the ground. I was like, that. I mean, whether that's CGI, but
that's got to be CGI.
Awesome.
It has to be.
Looked awesome.
Yeah, it does look so real.
Can you imagine doing a movie and then you say, look, we're going to go to the outback of Australia and go, actually not. We're going to go to the desert in Namibia now.
Yeah.
You'd be thinking, is that really where I want to go?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they did.
They did.
They did. What I discovered from that clip, George Miller's a very heavy breather.
Yeah.
Very heavy breather. All right. There we go. 2015 hit Sleeper and Dud. And I've taken over Damo's hit from tonight. And I'm going, I think I've mentioned it before. The Martian. Ridley Scott, Matt Damon. I just love this movie. It is so fucking good. Matt Damon becomes stranded on Mars and his team have to go back and rescue him. And it is so fucking good. It is so improbable.
Yeah.
Right? But, God, it's good.
It's a good flick.
I reckon I've seen it. It only came out 10 years ago. I reckon I've seen it 20 times. I went through a period where I was watching it once a week.
I've only ever watched it once in full.
Oh, mate,
I didn't watch it at the start because I didn't like the story, and I think after you told me or I heard it was quite good that I was like, right, I need to watch this.
Love it a lot. That's it for me. Sleeper is Down on the Land. What do you got?
Yeah, look,
I reckon I'm picking his Sleeper.
Oh, no, I don't think you're going to get it. This is one that I watch a lot with my daughters who absolutely love it. And by osmosis, I've grown to love it. It is second in a trilogy of films starring an all-female cast as a cappella group and starring Australia's own. Yeah, Pitch Perfect 2. That gets a big run up here on the land, and I'm very fond of it. Find it extremely entertaining. And I think, as I said, my daughters have forced it upon me all these years and have made me enjoy it more. But team F-wits, my fellow F-wits out there, if you haven't seen it or haven't seen the first one and the second one, I think the second one is better than the first. The third one not as good as the second or the first. However, go and check it out. Pitch Perfect 2.
Is that the one with the Germans in it?
It is. It is. Yeah, no, that's the one with the Germans. Das Machine.
Yes, because you do look like a bit of a Morgs-alike with
a little bit of what we've both got high cheekbones and
the nose, bit of a schnorker,
a bit of a schnork and a Germanic look about us. But look, Anna Kendrick, Rebel Wilson, a whole cast of excellent performers, and very much worth a look.
Okay, well done, Dan. G-Man, you have the dud.
I just wanted to say, Morgs, I thought for sure The Big Short was coming out.
It's not a sleeper. The Big Short is by far a better movie for me to watch all the time. However, look, I'll take that. Yeah, you should have won this bet.
There's either that or Sicario. He flips them for real in that movie.
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve.
He flips them for real.
I do like Sicario as well.
Look, I looked at some duds for the year and I came up with one that was number 93 in the rankings, and it's called The Wedding Ringer with Josh Gad and Kevin Hart.
Yes.
Where he's the best man that he hires.
Yes.
And then it's one of those movies where it's not that bad a movie, but it's very formulaic, as in...
Did Chrissy make you watch this?
No, I just saw it on one time and I was like, Kevin Hart's funny, right?
Yeah.
But then I only caught the back up. But, it's one of those movies where all that stuff's funny and there's funny jokes. And then they get to the realism where he wants to be his mate. And then he doesn't want to be... He's not his mate because he's paying him. And then they actually do become mates at the end and they have a falling out. It's like that whole Hollywood saga. So not great. The other one I had that's on par with it was the new Point Break.
Oh, no, see, that is one of the worst movies ever made.
Yes. Yeah.
Ever made. The Wedding Ringer for that, yeah.
Oh.
Ever made. Just so bad.
Yeah, watching that, I was like, this is just not a patch on the first one.
The trailer is enough. It is horrendous.
Yeah.
Well done, gents. Question time. Okay, straight off the bat. G-Man, I'll ask you first. Where does Fury Road sit in the Mad Max franchise?
Oh, that's a toughie. I was thinking about it because the first time I watched it, as I said, I liked it, but I thought, oh, it's just so much action, and I didn't probably pay enough attention to it. Second time, same. Then when I was watching the other night, it starts to really grow on me. I was like, that's a fantastic flick. Just so a good story. I like the characters. I like the way it was done. So it's hard, but then Mad Max and Mad Max 2 are in my all-time top 5.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. I don't know if I can. I haven't seen it enough to give it.
Okay. All right.
I can't say it's overtaken them at this
But
stage.
it's third then.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just say for now.
For now. Your same question to you. Where does it sit?
Take your time.
Oh, what was the question? Sorry, I was busy prepping my next host to talk. What were you saying?
Where does Fury Road sit for you in the franchise?
Oh, excellent question. Gal loves The Road Warrior and has always wanted us to watch it since we were young tackers. But I think for me, it goes the original Mad Max, then Fury Road, then The Road Warrior, and that's the trilogy.
Okay. For me, I think this, if you took Thunderdome out, this is one of the great trilogies.
Yes.
And for me, the order is 1, 2, Fury Road.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Okay,
I do think the original is the best.
I just love the original so much.
Same.
So much. And don't get me wrong, I gave the original and Mad Max 2 the same score, 4.25. I just think Fury Road sits in behind them. But it's tight. It's tight. I think this is very good. And I'm not going to allow recency bias to take over. Okay. Now, this is a question. It has been answered, I think, probably somewhere along the lines. But in your eyes, what do we think the silver spray is that the War Boys use, Daniel?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything more technical than silver spray paint. I just can't see it being having any other use in the wastelands, and certainly I don't feel it has any powers beyond the fact that they believe it is their last act before they enter into Valhalla. So I'm just going to go with straight off the Bunnings shelf silver spray paint. What did you guys think?
Don't they think it gives them? Yeah, it gives them power.
There's talk that it's a drug.
Yeah,
there could be a drug.
It's drug that they and then it also helps them to stay loyal to a guy.
I think that they are brainwashed into thinking exactly that.
Yes,
but I think that.
But it is just they're just chroming.
Just giving them spray. Yeah, just giving them spray paint.
Just chroming.
It's just 89 in Chroma Valley.
In the paper bag.
Okay, the motorbike gang, when they come through the thing, and the motorbike gang sits up on that they're going to do the deal with. Do we think that they are the early descendants that would become the Jawas in Star Wars?
They did have some gear on, didn't they?
They look like little Jawas. They look a little Jawish.
Yeah, they do a little bit with all that gear. It's got to be hot.
Super hot.
Crack up there.
Super hot. Okay. I'm going to say it's a no. Okay. Now the war rig, hell of a piece of machinery.
Yeah.
And it's just getting across those dunes like it's Mount Panorama. What sort of tyres are we looking at for the war rig? There's got to be some form of special sand tyre. What is it like? It just chews it up, just gets across it.
I noticed a lot of the tyres had the metal chains around.
Well, the Interceptor does.
The Interceptor does, and a few of the others did too. They had stuff around it maybe to stop them hitting the tyres. But how would the tyres still be viable?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Do you think that they've got the chains around them because there's no rubber anymore?
Yeah, they'd have to.
Yeah.
How could they last that long?
There's probably a Bob J and T-Mart at the Green Place, and they just flick in there for a 3 for the price of 4 deal.
Now, Dan, for you, this is a question for you because you're you've got a 4-wheel drive. You ride motorcycles like a man.
I do.
You're a bit of a dirt squirt demon.
I am.
What's the PSI of those tyres to get across?
Mate, they're running 12 PSI in the desert. They probably. It's a common misconception that you drop the PSI when you go into the sand, but in fact, because it gets so hot when you're riding on the sand, you want your PSI to be quite high. Otherwise, the tube can spin in the rim and the valve can snap off and you're fucked out there in the desert. So there you go, kids. Take that knowledge bomber right in your notches.
I got to say, it's always extremely dangerous when you spin in the rim.
Yeah.
Okay, very, very dangerous. Okay,
Oh, a lot of rim talk tonight. I like it.
I know you do. Now, we did mention this early on in the show, but is this a Max or a Furiosa movie? G-Man.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing because it is a Furiosa movie at
Yeah.
the start.
Yeah.
Max sort of comes in, but it's such a hard one. It is a Furiosa movie to me.
Yeah. Okay.
To me, it is.
Daniel?
I think Charlize Theron is better in this movie than Tom Hardy is. And I agree that I think it's a Furiosa bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think when I remember watching this in the cinema going, this is not a Mad Max movie.
No.
And it's a shame because
they're equal at best.
Because this movie, so they've made Mad Max Furiosa, and this movie is 100 times better than the Furiosa movie.
Okay.
100 times better. Anyway, okay, we're all in agreement there. Last one. This one for you, Dan.
Yeah.
And I'll get Gow's input here. One for you. So is this movie sheer brilliance or just lazy copycat script writing?
No, sheer brilliance. I don't believe that. What I really like about it, and I touched on it earlier, was that it is a brilliant standalone flick. Whilst there is some homage to the mythology, it doesn't bog itself down with trying to explain it. It just takes us along for the ride. We love it. Those of us that love Mad Max and The Road Warrior, Mad Max 2, can see enough in this to understand where it is and what time it is and what Max's role is in this. But you could just come in absolutely fresh to this this series of films and love Mad Max Fury Road for what it is. So, no, I do not believe that. I cannot remember the question, but I think that I've answered it correctly.
Yeah. G-Man, thoughts? You agree with Dan?
Yeah, agree, guy.
Okay, good. Excellent. Born to watch only fans.
Oh, hang on. I got one question.
Oh, go.
You going question time.
Oh, you
Yeah, because when we first said we were watching Fury Road, I wasn't sure. We just said watching Fury Road. I thought it was the sequel to Thunder Road. And then it got me thinking, what's the harder drive, Fury Road or Thunder Road in Greece?
Thunder Road.
Yeah. And then who's the better driver, Furiosa or Danny Zuko?
I think it's Zuko.
Danny Zuko has to go. They got the things on the tires that scratch his tires up.
I think it's Zook.
Yeah. Zook has to do a lot.
Zook's the man. Zook wouldn't be out of place. Zook wouldn't be out of place on Fury Road.
Zook could get on Fury Road?
I reckon they're racing for pink slips either way. So we could.
Well done, G. People, a good spot now to share the podcast to someone in your contacts that might like Mad Max, might not like Mad Max. Maybe they like Weird Science from last week where Gary's taking a huge shit in the toilet.
Oh, what did you give Weird Science? What happened?
It got 2 point something. It's fairly down the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't great. Bill Paxton was a highlight. There's no doubt as Chet.
Mate,
AMH was a bit of a highlight.
As if those two dorks made Kelly LeBrock and left the fucking house. Give me a break.
That's exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said.
There were some good Morgs alikes. You and your bike gang Morgs. The red hats.
You and Jabba Chet.
I'm a bit Chet for sure.
Yeah. But look, guys, share to your friends. Leave a review. Get on Apple or get on Spotify. Leave a comment on Spotify. Or if you're feeling a little bit frisky, get on borntowatch.com.au, well done, and leave us a voicemail, and you will be played on the show and will forever and eternity go down in Born to Watch lore. Now we move on to the good, the bad, and the ugly, brought to you by Gage Roads Brew Company, and we re-upped
the legend of Gage Roads. Yeah, special delivery last week before Cyclone Alfred hit. Thank you to everyone at Gage Roads. We've been getting stuck into your piss. It's a great day.
It is a great day. Well done, Daniel. Well done.
Got some hazy asses back. Love it.
Yeah. I oscillate. I'm a single fin brand ambassador, but Whitey actually digs on the Matzos, which is the sister brand to Gage Roads, and their ginger beer with chili and lime. That's a Whitey fucking special.
It's a good
yeah.
try.
I actually in on the Thursday night during the height of Cyclone Alfred, I had a chili and lime.
Oh,
beer. Maybe it was Friday. I think it was Friday night. Chili and lime.
get
ginger beer.
your number to him.
But let's start with the good, and we're going to go with you, G. What do you got for good?
I had good. I had the start of the movie, that first 5 minutes.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that really sets up. You don't know what's going on. You know, he wakes up and he's racing around, and there's all these white, war boys chasing him, and you're not really sure. Then he hits the edge like,
"Whoa, boys!"
And so and it's all action, and I'm thinking, like, when he gets through a few of them, I think, oh, he's going to run out and get out here, and then they catch him, and he gets taken back in. I just thought that was a really good setup. And as soon as you're watching that, to me, I'm hooked. I'm in thinking, here's a go. Look, what's happening now?
Well, it's got me. I think it's so smart that the first thing you see is the interceptor.
Yes, true.
So smart.
Yep.
Right.
Last
and I
of
think
the V8 interceptors.
that's it. And I think that was a really cool move by Miller to do that.
It was, especially when he
just grabs everyone, right?
Sitting up on the hill. It's very throwback to
it's
Mad
Road
Max
Warrior.
2,
It's Road Warrior, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if you caught a look inside when he opened the door just after he ate the lizard, but it looked like my wife's fucking car. Jesus, he disrespects the old V8 interceptor.
He doesn't give a fuck about it.
Yeah,
does not give a
enough
fuck
times.
Yeah.
I had the chase scenes, the car crashes. Like, Whitey, we watched it at his place, and some of those make you jump out of the seat. Like, they're really good action.
Yeah,
some good crashes. The guys coming over on the poles into the car.
The stunt work.
That was really good. I thought it's a little far fetched that he gets taken on them, but I did like those. It was just a whole heap of action.
Yeah.
And the dynamic, as I said earlier, between the two of them, both brooding badasses who are willing to do whatever's needed. They both sort of, they sort of meet, those two powers sort of meet together.
Yeah.
They're willing to go to the next level. So I really enjoyed that. I think they both did that well.
Yep. Well done. Daniel, what about you? Good.
Good call, G. Yeah, I wasn't that pumped to watch this film. I just thought, it's seen it. But I came away thinking, yeah, fuck yeah, that's an excellent film right there. And like Gow, I really enjoyed the opening chase scene. But for me, the final chase scene with the polecats was just the pinnacle of inventive chase movie. Who the fuck thinks up those polecats and then films it using practical effects? Like, it was fucking amazing. And I was on the edge of my seat. I had an open mouth, full mouth breather when I was watching it the whole time. I kept catching myself because I was just swept up in that final chase. And I think the vision to bring that to life. And it's interesting what he said about the staff that were out there at the time who didn't see it with any effects or any treatment and thought, what the fuck have we achieved here? What is it going to be, a bomb? But no, when it all came together and the extremely long editing process and all of the color grading and everything that was done at the end and all of the effects that was added, just made it the incredible film it is. But that final scene was, because I thought when I saw the first scene that Gal referred to, I was like, oh fuck, how are they going to keep stepping this up and ramping it up throughout? But they managed to. They actually managed to, and it's great.
Yeah, I think everything's a step up. So even the first chase, that's everything's a step up from that. Like it's a great progression to the end.
It just sets up well, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't take too long. Yeah, there's not that long between the action.
For a 2-hour movie, it goes quick. It goes quick.
Oh, I love the fact that it was 2 hours, but a fast 2 hours.
Fast 2 hours.
Yeah.
For me, just Mad Max. Like, it's so Australian. It's been in my life, and as far as movies are forever, it's one of the first two movies I ever saw. The original Mad Max. I've told the story on the show before about my dad bringing home the first VCR from when he worked at Rank Arena with the VHS tapes of Mad Max and Apocalypse Now. Yeah, and I was about 6, and I shouldn't have been watching them, and I watched both of them. So, and I've turned out okay. Have
you, though?
Yeah.
Have you?
George Miller, it's incredible for him. And I've got another interview about his the movie experience here, and he explains it a bit about the making of the movie better, but just his vision and his just 100% faith in himself that he's going to get it right. The Interceptor, it could be my favorite car, my movie vehicle of all time. I just love it. The production and the sound design the cars, every car's different. Every vehicle's different. It's just like I can't imagine how long that took. The sounds, there's so much going on. It's just unbelievable.
What about you had me thinking about just how Australian it is. Like even the dialogue when Charlize Theron says she's going to fang it. Like fang it is such a Aussie revhead term that no one in the rest of the world would understand what it means. But the way she delivers it, you know exactly what they're talking about. And then when they refer to Nux's carry the war boy as a real revhead, like straight away, that's just another Australian colloquialism that is inserted into this film, and it doesn't look out of place. It's just it's brilliant how he pays off with the original film in this massive blockbuster 30, 40 years later.
Yeah. I loved also the Max having to file through the chain on the muzzle, and she gives him the thing. And it took me back to the original one where he gives it to Johnny
through
the
your
boy.
ankle will take you 5 minutes.
Yep. And straight away, and I only noticed, I only put two and two together this time. I went, shit, that's a nod to the first one, right?
Johnny
and
the boy.
Just continually, and yeah, he was a good character, Johnny the boy. What a dick, deserved to be blown up. There's a couple of incredible shots. One is where the war boy jumps off the back of the rig.
Oh, no, the one you mean.
Yeah.
Arches his back. Yeah.
Could go down as one of the most iconic shots in cinema.
And they slow it down, G. You were talking about film speed earlier, and they purposely slow that scene down. It is brilliant. Yeah.
It is so fucking good. The fact that he knows, he grabs the other spear, he's dead, he's got the arrow through his head, and he just jumps. It's so good.
He's off to Valhalla.
Absolutely. The other one was, and this is more cinematic than that action scene, but when they get to the women and Furiosa finds out there's no green space and she walks away and falls on her knees and she's on the massive sand dune and there's just desert for days and there's just windswept. It's just a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
And I just like, you get that juxtaposition of full-on action. He can do that, but he's also been able to frame
just
that.
gives you the desolation and the
so
breaking of her character after all they've been through.
And I never really look at, and this is not, Born to Watch isn't like that where we look at the technicality of the filmmaking, but those two shots really stood out to me for how
really
different they were, but just how fucking good they were. Obviously the practical stunts and the using CGI the best way, like the sandstorm. Like that sandstorm in the cinema, that was just all encompassing.
Yeah.
Right. Day for night. Now it made me laugh because Jaws does day for night really poorly. You know, when they're on the wharf or when they're on the boat and it's day for night. This is incredible. And I know that's different. They can do it in the computer and it's all done differently now, but it's just so good. Like none of those scenes were filmed at night. It's all
they're filmed in the day,
right?
And then they just change the exposure and do all that, which is amazing.
Good. Yeah. And we've mentioned the final chase scene, culminating with the death of a Morton Joe and how he dies, getting his face ripped out. Is you are on the edge of your seat for 40 minutes. You can't look away from the TV, and it's action directing at its absolute finest. Yeah, it's incredible.
Can I go back? I think. Sorry, before we go to bad, I think we
go for it.
We've massively overlooked a good, and it's my fault. But John Searle, the cinematographer, was actually brought out of retirement by George Miller for this film. And a lot of what we're discussing now is a result of how he has shot this film and how it was edited, and obviously a lot that goes into it. But this guy's career over 50 years, have a listen to some of the films that he did, starting off in Australia with some of the Aussie exploitation directors like Brian Trenchard-Smith. And like he did Fatty Finn. Remember Fatty Finn from 1980? Yeah. Ginger Megs, BMX Bandits, Careful He Might Hear You, Witness. He goes off to Hollywood, starts doing Peter Weir films over there. Children of a Lesser God, The Mosquito Coast, again with Peter Weir. Stakeout, the 1987 bit, with Charlie Sheen's brother, Richard Dreyfuss. Gorillas in the Mist. What Plims used to pull out the front of the jet club. Rain Man, Barry Levinson's amazing. Dead Poets Society, The Firm, The American President, The English Patient, The talented Mr. Ripley, an absolute standout. And I've just watched Ripley, the black and white 7-part series on Netflix and FWits. If you do one thing this year and you're into slow content, check out Ripley. It's fucking excellent. But if you like these goons, you'll hate it. Cold Mountain, which I can give or take. Spanglish, which I really loved. Right up to Mad Max Fury Road. So what an incredible career spanning 1975 to 2022. Vale, John Searle, even though you're not dead.
Okay. Now you've done that. G-Man, bad.
Look, going back, obviously the chase scenes are awesome. I would say it's bad. I'd say it's a bit far-fetched, the number of attackers, the number of machines that had chased them, and then one truck could get away with 4 grandmas on it. And they managed to get away. I just found like it's great. It keeps the action going. When the pole guys come over and they take him out and they grab him and they take him out, why don't they just stop the car?
Yep.
Why don't they just stop the car and then they've got him dead to rights? But they keep driving alongside. So just little things like that. I just thought just too many. If there was 5 chasing cars, but there wasn't, there was tons of them.
Okay, so just tacking down, I'm a bit of Greer guy here with you here, but like this movie, he should be called Invincible Max.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone survives this.
Yeah.
But it's a movie, so move on.
No, I get that.
Yep.
Blood transfusions, they didn't seem to care what blood type you are. They've all got the same out there.
Well, he's
They're all full of gasoline,
he's a multiple donor.
Yeah. They just put a hook in your neck and you're away.
Yeah.
The
I
other
think
thing
it's funny you mentioned that, but I think they did in the tattoo that Angus Sampson put on him. I think it did paint him with a very usable blood type. I think there was some copy on his back.
Okay.
That said, this guy's
it's
good donor.
O plus high octane universal donor.
Right.
Yeah. I think they did.
Universal donor. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I've just got to say, you've been a picky little bitch the last few movies on shit like this. Like, it's a fucking chase movie in dystopian wasteland. It's meant to be over the fucking top. Calm down. That's all I've got to say about this, G. Love you.
So what are we going to say? We just say, oh, no, it's good. It's great. It's great. Oh, Vale, whatever his name was. Cyril Cunningham.
Yeah, he's not dead. Calm down. We don't want to mock him. Sorry, I didn't mean
Cyril Cunningham. I've given 4 good things. I said, to me, that's one bad thing.
Okay, cool. Is that all you bad?
No, one other bad thing I'll say was...
So it's 2 bad things.
Was the walking things in the green place.
Yeah, the crows.
Those big crow things. They look like people on stilts when they were walking.
Yeah, I think they are supposed to be.
I think they are people on stilts. Yeah,
it just looked to me. It just looked out of place, and I was like, wasn't sure about that.
It looked like the Skeksis in Dark Crystal, Morgs.
But anyway, that's my bad. I don't have to agree with you, Morgs. You can fuck off.
Yeah, fair, absolutely fair.
Now I'm anticipating, Dan, you don't have any bads because you don't nitpick. Go. What do you got?
No, the only bad, but I'm slowly coming around. I thought that Tom Hardy could have been replaced with other actors. I don't think he owned the role. I think Charlize Theron will always be Furiosa for me. I think she was excellent. I don't know that Tom Hardy reached that level for me in this film. I think he was fine. I agree with Gow that he didn't have a lot of dialogue to work with, and he sounded a bit like Brain wherever he spoke, and that kind of took me out of the character a bit. And because he was replacing the great Mel Gibson, it was probably part of that as well. But yeah, look, after seeing that video clip you posted where he was talking about his characters, all of the bits and pieces he put in to come up with a character, I understand a little more, but I still think he was slightly weaker than Charlize Theron in the film.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know he actually sat down with Mel Gibson and Mel literally said to him, "I'm too old for this shit."
Yeah.
and then gave him the blessing to have the role. Literally said, like, I can't do
when it originally came up, it was early in the 2000s, and Mel was all over it. Then he got on the purse.
He got right on the can.
He loves the piss.
Oh, fuck, it made me laugh. Because obviously it was Oscar week. They relived the Ricky Gervais. And he goes, look, I love a beer as much as anyone. Unless, of course, the next guy is Mel Gibson. And brings him onto the stage.
And then grabs the beer.
Introduces him onto the stage.
He grabs the beer off and then goes, whoa. And takes it away from him.
Fucking hell. Ricky Gervais, what a hero. Okay, my bad. The C-section.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's
fairly matter of fact. Yeah.
One of the cringiest. Cut her open. cut her open. It's just like, oh my God, they're going to do that. And then him with the umbilical cord.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was just like,
It felt like he was
fuck.
going to chew on some stem cells right there. Like it was just
Yes.
so unaffected. Oh, God.
Yeah. You've already sort of touched on it a little, Daniel, but I've gone wasted nude Megan Gale.
Yeah.
I had her
She's nude.
placed.
She's
I had
up
her
in the
placed very
old
well.
electricity tower. Yeah.
Yep. And the other thing, washing in mother's milk. When Max goes around, what's this? It's mother's milk, and just starts washing with it. That'd be sticky. That'd be sticky, especially from those fats back at the town.
Yeah, that was confronting.
That's it. That's all I've got for bad. Everyone else has sort of touched on it. Anyone got anything for ugly?
No.
I just had John Howard's fucking
his
feet. Yeah, that was just reminding me of Jutt just kicking back on the beach in Bali. Yeah. Shout out to Jutt Smith and his massive big slab feet. But yeah, they were pretty horrendous. And then
that was bad.
I don't know if you noticed, but in his full suit, he had the nipples cut out and had the nipple rings and the chain onto it. So
he was
like a couple of bull rings. It was ridiculous.
He was a piece of work. Old him, whatever his name is. I've lost my.
The people eater.
The people eater. Yes, the people.
Looked like he'd eaten a couple of people.
He certainly did. Yeah, what a cunt he is. Seriously. Morgs is on the fucking Reds. Oh my God! Wow.
Shamon.
Okay, so my ugly is just the tumours. The poor kid that's got to blow the freaking the shit on.
Oh yeah, on his. He's like backers that we used to play basketball with. Remember back then?
Yes.
1989
Yeah,
backers.
yeah.
Oh, you mark him. No, you mark him.
No, that was bad. No one would mark him. It was terrible. Okay, look, that's about it for ugly. Dan's quick fire. Take it away.
On fire this evening. Here we go. F-wits. First up, Mad Max Fury Road lookalikes. Anyone in Mad Max Fury Road that you felt bore a passing resemblance to anyone else and or myself? Whitey, any lookalikes / morgalikes out of Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah, we mentioned John Howard, whatever his name is, the people eater.
Yeah,
I think just in the face, Morgs. The body's not you, but just in the face of it.
He had Fat Morgs' ankles.
And also the bullet farmer. The bullet farmer looks a bit like
the bullet farmer. Is he the guy that got the eyes?
Yeah,
he did. He looked a bit like F. Murray Morgs.
He does. Look, other than that, I think
Quentin
obviously is the easy one.
That's the lazy one.
Look, I stand by my my young Tom Hardy, young Matt Gowan. I think Gow circa 97, 98, when all the posh birds were chasing him around, that was definitely a lookalike and a crossover. So there you go. Yeah, look, I'll accept all of those. 5-minute movie. What could one of the characters have done to make this a really fast movie? Gow, you had a hypothesis earlier on. What was that?
Did I?
Yeah, you said something about the car not starting or something.
You fucking what?
I reckon if he dies in the first crash, the movie's over.
If his hearing's a bit better and he hears them coming earlier and doesn't not 10 seconds before they chase him down.
Yeah. Is he taking a piss? Is that what he's doing?
I don't know what he's doing. He was eating gecko.
I really liked, and I'd forgotten, but I'd forgotten on the revisit how in the script they got it so Mal would end up in the chase. That Mel Mad Max, I beg your pardon. And I just remember going, fuck yeah, that's inventive, when he was essentially the blood donor on the front of the fucking car. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. A real screenwriter's gem. So, yeah, excellent.
Clever.
Next up, the golden ticket for a scene or scenes that's passed over into popular culture from this film. Whitey, anything that we take from Mad Max Fury Road, you think?
Oh, I don't think there's anything really from that movie, but there's a couple, like obviously the V8 Interceptor,
Gasoline.
There's a few
nothing
things
that we hadn't seen in previous films. I don't know.
That's right. Nothing new.
Quentin. What about Quentin?
No. I mean, Quentin's awesome, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No golden ticket, righto. Pig-faced lickouts for the biggest douchebag character in the film, Gow. Who really pissed you off and thought, yep, playing a real good douche here?
Oh, and Morton. Well, I know he's the bad guy, but Morton Joe was horrible.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
What a terrible person.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah, I don't know. No one else really. I don't
What
know if anyone else
about-
sticks out to me.
What about
Um,
Split? What about Slit? Nux's mate, the guy that steals.
Yeah,
the
he's a bit of a
wheel.
cockhead. Yeah, he was
He's a bit of a
ready to-
tool bag.
Yeah, I mean, Nux was obviously the driver of the V8, and he just
I
wanted
got
to
his
steal
shoe.
thunder.
I've got his
Yeah.
shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure what was valuable intel back there. So
No.
yeah, but he did die. He was witnessed and did die very well to go to Valhalla. So good on him.
Yes, he did die very well.
Excellent. Except next up, Steven Seagal running for a particularly poor show of athletic prowess. Now, for me, I always look out for the running because I do have crazy legs myself, and I've got to say that Charlize Theron can't run for shit. Very, very attractive lady, but cannot run at all. Anyone else you guys saw that was particularly poor at gross motor skills?
No, I think she's a standout for poor running.
Crazy legs.
But she's also got wide elbows.
Yeah.
Everything's a bit odd. She's too tall, too lanky for it.
Nah, was definitely not playing elite netball back in South Africa. Good on you, Charlize. Next up, Robot Century for an additional scene or scenes you wanted to see that maybe tell us a little bit more about the backstory. For me, no way. I love the fact that it was so lacking in any need for backstory, and a lot of it's became the movie Furiosa, which I still have not completed, I must say. But Gow, was there anything else you wanted to know about these characters?
No, I think you're right, Morgs. You know, we the backstory of Max in other movies, and you don't need to know anymore. I think, as we said earlier, that the fact that she takes off, all of that just leads you to not knowing what's going to happen and why it's happening. And I think that's really good. I think that 2 hours goes really well. It's well paced. I don't think you need to know anymore. We understand, like, within a little while what's happening. I think the good twist of, like, we're going to go back is really good too. You're like,
that's a really good point. Yeah, another really good twist is when he says, well, actually, you're looking at the green place. The green place exists, and we knows where it is, and we know where it is. That's really good call.
Yeah, that's right. Because he leaves them. He's like, no, I'll go on my own. Then he's like, hang on.
Yeah.
You're going to go 160 days. There's nothing out there.
Yeah.
So and she knows straight away, we got to go back.
Yep.
Excellent. Great call, Gout. Totally agree. Lastly, Whitey's Brad Pitt for the dystopian wasteland character that you would most like to lie down, possibly not having had a shower for 3, 4, 10 years. Whitey, which of the characters took your fancy the most?
This is difficult, I think, because if you're talking about in the movie, okay,
it's in the movie. We're not taking the actress or actor or then out of the film.
Okay, so in the film. I'm not going Furiosa if it's in the movie. I'm not going Furiosa.
The movie.
Rosie Huntington Whiteley is pregnant.
Yeah.
So I'm not going 2 for 1 in the wasteland.
Okay.
Right? It's not happening. All right. I'm going Zoe Kravitz.
Oh.
I'm going Zoe Kravitz.
I mean, super pretty girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, G. Anyone? What about? Trying to unlock the G code has been impossible for the last 30, 40 years. But what's your take on this, G?
It's Megan Gale.
Yeah,
looking very good.
Yeah,
looking very good in this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's not forgotten.
Yeah,
but I still think, like, if you she's not been. If you're talking about in the movie, she's not been well kept. Zoe Kravitz, I think, is still getting prime Alabama black snake. Right?
Bit of mother's milk.
Do you know what I thought was hilarious? Now we're talking about Zoe Kravitz, and this is so funny. Is that the only black person in the film of color gets thrown the gun to load it up, as she knows how to load the guns.
Come on, there.
I was like, they haven't done that on purpose, have they?
Come on, George Miller, be better.
Yeah, be better, George.
Excellent. I'll accept both of those. Probably, I sway myself probably towards Furiosa, even though she's quite battle scarred. Still a very attractive.
I think she'd be thankful. She'd be thankful.
Yeah. Excellent. That was Quickfire, gentlemen.
Well done, gentlemen. Listen to this, G-Man. What have you got?
Well, we talked before about Margaret Sixel being George Miller's wife and the editor of the movie.
Yeah.
She had 470 hours of film
to
go through. It took her 3 months.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So she'd never done it before, and they asked her why she'd take on the project. She said because if a guy did it, it was like every other action movie.
Yeah.
But she got an Academy Award for Best Editing, so good luck to her. How good's that?
Incredible. Just before you move on there, I've got a little clip. George Miller on the movie experience, which sort of ties in with your editing. Here we go.
When I go to the movies, I want to be able to sit back in the darkness with everyone else and just get sucked up into the screen, and that's what we tried to do with this movie.
You didn't actually write a traditional script. Originally, it was all just 3,500 storyboards, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was very visual for you.
Very, very visual. Alfred Hitchcock said it best when he says you try to make movies where they don't have to read the subtitles in Japan. And it's a visual medium, so as much as you can tell. I mean, people speak, but even the main characters, they don't say very much in the movie. The big screen and with all the sound that you can get now, and even with 3D, it can be a very, very immersive experience. And so you try to make movies, rather than dramas, which play very well on the smaller screen. But for this, it needs to be big. Yeah.
Incredible that, I guess, when you talk about, Dan, this is an interesting one, because would this be an easier movie to edit with the lack of dialogue? Because the dialogue doesn't push the story. The action pushes the story here.
Look, not necessarily easier, but I think, as George Miller said, like, it's a visual medium. I think a lot of these films, and I did a bit of research prior to this where I was looking at the least amount of dialogue in film, and it was interesting. Quite a lot of the films that came out, a lot of them were chase movies like this, and Vanishing Point, the movie that is referenced in the Quentin Tarantino Death Proof film. I think that not necessarily easier, but George's point about you're watching this in Japan and you don't give a toss that they're speaking in a different language, you can still pick up on exactly what's happening. So I think that makes it a universal viewing experience as opposed to unpacking a lot of the dialogue.
Yep. J-Man, continue.
Just quickly, in this movie, Max wears a metal knee brace.
Oh, like Mad Max 2.
Just like in Mad Max, because he gets shot in the leg.
Yeah.
So they actually had him in the knee brace still.
And he actually also wears a replica of the jacket worn by Mel Gibson.
Yeah. The other one was Corpus Colossus, which was Quentin.
Yep.
That character wasn't in the movie until Quentin contacted George Miller and said, "Hey, is there possibly a chance for a role for me in this?" And George Miller went, "Yeah, like that would create a great balance because you've got Rictus Erectus who's 6'11", and then you've got Quentin who's small, can't walk." So like that's why they added the part in,
Awesome.
So they had them as the two sons.
Yeah, that was
very cool. Very cool.
Very good. Anything else, Jay?
No, that's it.
Dan, you got anything? You done some research?
No, bugger all.
All right, I got one. So I'm just going to lead this into. So according to Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, so who is Jason Statham's other half, the pregnant wife, whenever she or the other wives' clothes would slip and show a bit of skin that shouldn't be showing, Tom Hardy would never say anything to them. Instead, he would act out a cartoonish eye-popping action and let them know that the boobs are showing.
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, just take a little drink before he acknowledged it.
Absolutely. So obviously it is well known that this was not a nice set to work on.
No.
Charlize Theron didn't like Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy didn't like Charlize Theron. Tom Hardy didn't really get on with George Miller. He didn't understand the vision.
Well, that was it. And they both didn't. I think
they both didn't get what was going on.
This is going to be a rubbish movie.
Yeah. So just hold on. I promise people, this is the last clip, but this is a really good clip. And this is Tom Hardy at the Cannes Film Festival premiere.
I suddenly got what George was talking about, actually, because for 7 months, I think the most complicated piece for me, or the most frustrating thing for me, or the hardest part of it, was trying to know what George wanted me to do at any given minute, on a minute-by-minute basis, so that I could fully transmute his vision. But because he's orchestrating such a huge vehicle, literally, in so many departments, and his signature is on every single detail of that, and because the vehicle and all the vehicles are moving, and the whole movie is just motion. There was no way that I realized, and I feel I have to apologize to you because I got frustrated. And there was no way that George could have explained what he could see in the sand when we were out there. And because of the due diligence that was required to make everything safe and to make everything, which is incredibly complex, so simple, and what I saw, which is a relentless barrage of complexities simplified in a fairly linear story. I mean, I knew he was brilliant, but I didn't quite know how brilliant until I saw that. That's my first reaction was, oh my God, I owe George an apology for being so myopic.
Yeah.
And you can understand that, but pull your head in, Tom, as well.
I guess they're probably out in the desert. He's like, what is this movie?
What's going on?
Like you
Yeah.
said that, said, oh, like it's
she
rubbish.
said the same thing.
It's gonna be rubbish, and
So-
they couldn't see it until they saw the final cut. They
Yeah.
didn't know, and you've probably gone, I've just wasted months out here.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I guess it was just a massive leap of faith, right? That came
Yeah.
right. So,
But to his credit, he then said, hey, I didn't get it, but I do now.
absolutely.
So I got a quote from Charlize Theron because they didn't get on.
No,
And were you going to say the thing about their fight?
you go.
Oh. She had a quote. I was just like, we were like two parents in the front of the car. We were either fighting or we were icing each other. I don't know which one was worse. And they had to deal with it in the back. It was horrible. We should not have done that. We should have been better. I can own up to that.
What I hear in that gal is that the wives were like Josh and Charlie on a trip to Sydney. That's all I'm hearing.
No, like we just put on podcasts. We're away.
Ignore each other in close quarters. That's the perfect way. Well done, people. Quotables. Anything?
Sorry, but just saying that, did you? I thought you were going to say that part, Whitey, that she actually broke Tom Hardy's nose.
Yeah,
in the fight scene because she had a green cast on her arm because they were green
screening
it, and in one of the scenes she went over to hit him and she got him on the nose.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
Well, who likes a broken nose?
Yeah,
well, I don't know. Yeah, you've had a few.
I've had a few, and they're not much fun.
All right.
Chicks dig them, but
they do. Especially. Quotables. Anyone got anything that springs to mind? There's not a heap. There's only about 600 words in the whole movie.
I think Nux says a lot of cool shit.
He does.
If I'm gonna die historic on the Fury Road.
That's a good
like that. Really good.
Well, he says like, "There's high ground just beyond that thing." He means the tree.
That
He's never seen
the thing. Yeah, the tree thing. That was funny.
And I don't know which one of the girls that's in the blonde head one. He's a crazy smeg who eats slanger.
Yeah, that is. I like Max. Hope is a mistake.
Yeah.
When he says that to Furiosa, hope is a mistake. And I also like it when Nux is back with Immortan and they throw him onto the tanker and the chain gets caught and he falls off the side. And Immortan looks out the side and goes, mediocre. and that's when Nux goes and hides at the back of the truck and he becomes one of the goodies.
Yeah.
So that was really cool as well.
I did like at the start when he gives them the tiny bit of water and Immortan
I knew you were going to say this.
Do not become addicted to water. It will take hold of you and you will resent its absence.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
It's water, mate.
I also like Slit. If you can't stand up, you can't do war.
Very good.
Yeah, very good. No 1 degree of Kurt Russell. I couldn't find one. Anyone find anything? No. Okay. Film school for F-wits. Take it away, Dan.
Yes, F-wits. I went down a few rabbit holes with this one, but in the end, I thought it was pretty much time that we had another film school for F-wits quiz. And what made me think about this particular quiz was the filmography of one Thomas Hardy, because he has played in some very interesting flicks, and I think he's quite revered, and he's brought in when there's a character actor required. That he definitely has quite a bit of range. He's obviously a thoughtful sort of dude, as you saw in that mea culpa he just gave to George Miller at the Cannes Film Festival. So what I thought is I would just split these up 1, 2, Gow Whitey, and first to 5 wins, and we'll just go through my list of questions that are all about the filmography of Tom Hardy. So first up, we'll start with Gow. Question number 1, Gow. Tom Hardy portrayed which real-life British criminal in the 2015 film Legend?
The Cray brothers.
Correct. Reggie Kray and Ronnie Kray. Well done, G-Man. Whitey. Question number 2. In The Dark Knight Rises, Tom Hardy played Bane. Who was the actor originally considered for the role before Hardy?
Oh, you're a fuckwit, Daniel. Seriously. These are so rigged, these quizzes.
It's fucking
I
at
think they're just
random,
random
mate.
questions.
Yeah, at
There's random
random.
questions.
Who was
Random
who?
questions.
Okay. I don't know. Who was it?
It was actually Liam Neeson, which I did not know, which I
Oh.
found very interesting considering he was in the first of those fucking
He was
JR
Raj
films.
Al Ghul in the first one. in
Yeah,
Batman Begins.
yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
Anyway, 1-0
He does-
G-Master after round
He does
one.
have a particular set of skills.
particular set of skills.
skills.
Hey,
I don't know
brother.
Ah!
Oh, the little redhead kid. Gow, question number 2. Which 2017 film, directed by Ridley Scott, saw Tom Hardy share screen time with actor Matt Damon as brothers? What was the name of the film?
He's in
Ridley-
Dunkirk in 2017.
Matt Damon is not in Dunkirk.
know,
I'll give you another
Dunkirk.
Oh.
go.
Matt Damon as brothers.
Matt Damon is the lead role. It is filmed primarily on another planet.
The Martian.
Oh, excellent, Gal. Well done, G-Money. 2-0. Whitey, question number 2 for you. Tom Hardy starred alongside Leonardo DiCaprio, LDC, in The Revenant. Which character did Hardy play whose actions led to the near death of DiCaprio's
I know.
I don't know
know.
his name. I don't know what his name is.
John Fitzgerald.
Go! Gee, I can't give you the point because it's not yours, but why do you get a big fat duckhead? Correct. John Fitzgerald. 2-0. Round 3, Gow. Question number 3. In Mad Max Fury Road, Tom Hardy took on the role of Max. Which actor originally played the character in the 1979 film Mad Max?
Was it Mel Gibson?
Correct. Gow 3, Whitey 0. Whitey, question number 3. What role did Tom Hardy play in Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's World War II film?
He played the fighter pilot,
More information, please.
the Spitfire pilot.
I'm afraid I can't accept that. The correct answer is the RAF
Furia.
The
what?
RAF pilot, Farrow. The
RAF pilot.
RAF pilot.
You
is
are the
correct.
worst. You are
3-0. Right, round 4. Whitey, again to you.
How many
Tom
questions have
Hardy.
you scored?
5.
So it's 5, so I
Five.
can't lose.
Oh, I mean,
that's
look, there might be some bonus.
Morgs wants
rounds.
me to lose 5-0. So yeah, let's continue.
It's just random. Tom Hardy made his feature film debut in Black Hawk Down. What was the name of the character he played in that film? Tom Hardy, Black Hawk Down. What was the name of the character he played in that ensemble film?
I think I know.
Because you're looking up IMDb.
Oh, no,
That's how you know, Gal.
I'm sitting right here, right next to you.
Looking up IMDb.
How am I looking it up? My hands are in the air.
Gal, I'll throw to you, Gal.
His name was Twombly.
That's correct. Twombly. Yes.
Twombly.
Absolutely.
Was he Twombly?
Yeah.
It was
okay.
Twombly.
Yeah.
Gal.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy played one of 2 brothers, Tommy Conlon, in the film Warrior. In the film, Tommy Conlon's father was played by none other than Nick Nolte. Gow, how would you best describe the length between Nick Nolte's notcher and the end of his ballsack?
Morgs like?
I definitely looks like untucked. You know what? I actually wanted to answer this question. I was going to pass because I've got an unassailable lead, but he's got the saggers.
He does, in fact, have saggy nuts. I would call them Wardy-esque after the great man, Wardy, and his massive sack that click between his knees when he runs down the beach. But I will accept the fact that they are the quintessential saggy nuts. Well done, Gal. That is 5-0. Look, I'm going to give Whitey one chance, though. I think he's got a chance to be able to answer this. Whitey, Tom Hardy is known for his intense, gritty roles. But which 2014 film saw him play a character who's simply trying to drive in a car for the entire movie?
Lock.
Whitey. Oh, fully redeemed yourself. 5-1 is the end score. Gao is proclaimed the winner of the quiz once again. Gentlemen, Whitey is a fucking hoax. Film school for F-wits.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. I
Oh.
appreciate the underhanded dealings that are going on here. If anyone out there, I'm talking to you, Matty B Geek, who loves these quizzes, you want to send in some real questions, send them in, and we'll get Dan on the quiz. Just don't do them about bull rings or saggy balls.
Well, I guess it's on what you could totally redeem yourself in our next section here.
Toast the Redeemer. Okay, it is
toast the knowing.
Toast the knowing. Okay, whatever. Well, it's toast the Redeemer.
You're
now.
toast the not knowing.
I'm toast the nunning. Okay, it is kick-ass credit song, and you've just heard the movies. Want to watch the movies. One of the great songs, and this one is nowhere near as good. This song is called "The Back Tat."
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Okay, now it's interesting, and I have got no idea how it goes, but we're going to roll into it. No name, no lumps, no bumps, full clear life. 2 good eyes, no busted limbs. Piss okay, genitals intact. Multiple scars, heals fast. O plus high octane, universal donor. Lone road warrior, run down on the powder lakes. VA, no gasoline, no supplies. Isolate psychotic, keep muzzled. That's Max to us. Cruising lonely on the Fury Road. Eating lizard for breakfast, then you run into Immortan Joe. Furiosa has the brides and heads to the east. You want a handy, you better sit on the right-hand side. It's not deja vu, this is Mad Max 2 on a bigger budget with a bit of CGI. Blood back for life, constantly in strife. How about that? You got a shit back tat.
Shit back tat. I'll tell you what,
Have you ever spoken that out loud in your life, or did you just get all those words together and read them out for the first time then?
No. So that's the back. All those words are the back tat, right?
Right.
That's what's on his back, right? So then I was trying to get him into a bit of a tune, extremely unsuccessfully, right? And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to make it up. This was just made up on the go.
That had shades of a Matt Morg's favourite. No, this had shades of a Matt Morg's favourite. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red Johnny Ray, Southwest Big Walter, which I imagine.
JFK, blown away.
What else do I have to say?
My God.
Oh,
Yeah,
well
I
done, well done.
I did work out it was one of the bottom 5 of all time kick-ass credits. Star of
Nose of
the
the fucking leopard. That's the shittest.
Oh,
that
no,
we've
that's it.
ever
That's
had,
it.
yeah.
Absolutely. Star of the show. Dan, who you got?
George Miller, what a vision. Absolutely shat the bed on Beyond Thunderdome and came back with a vengeance. Scrub Beyond Thunderdome from the filmography and just make this a trilogy, and it is the best trilogy ever made in film. Even beats the Holy Trilogy. Love you, George Miller.
Good call, G-Man.
George for me.
It's George for me. 3 from 3. Well, and to be honest, no one stands out. It's his movie.
It's it, yeah.
Oh, look, I really liked Charlize Theron in it. I think she's great, but George Miller's like, even the actors have said it, like his vision,
absolutely.
the way he did it, was amazing.
Agreed. All right, the rank bank. Here we go. This was a little bit more difficult than I anticipated at the start, but I've got a few things here, and I'd love some feedback from you both. We've got blood bags. We've got Schlanger eating schmegs.
Hard to beat.
That's a pretty good one. I do like it.
Hard to beat.
I do like Gates of Valhalla.
Yep.
Humorous cult leaders. Breeders. Or green places for Dan.
I've got a
Chroming
soft
at
spot for
Chroma.
green places, but no, I think it's the Schlangers.
Chroming at Chroma.
We're not doing Chromie Chroma.
That is excellent as well.
We are going with Schlanger eating schmegs.
Excellent. Well played.
So I'm going to start with you, G-Man. How many Schlanger-eating smegs are you giving Fury Road?
So, really love this last rewatch. Really enjoyed it. We'll definitely watch it again. I think there's more to be picked up. As we said, fantastic for the trilogy. I gave both Mad Max and Mad Max 2 4.25.
Yep.
And if we're saying that it's slightly low, I'm going to give it the 4.
Yeah, cool.
Four
Schlanger eating schmegs. Dan, up on the land, what are you giving it?
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that, G, but I've really enjoyed this revisit. Some of the movies you make me watch, I do dread, and it takes me about 4 viewings to actually get through to the end. But I thoroughly enjoyed every moment of this. What a great movie. I'm going to give it 4.5.
Wow,
Woo.
Dan. Well done. I'm the same as Gow here. I gave Mad Max and Road Warrior 4.25. I'm with you, G. It's a 4 movie for me. 4 Schlanger eating schmegs. Where does that leave Fury Road in the pantheon of the rank bank?
Okay, it's up there. Wow. Okay, wow. It's up there with 4.17 Derringers.
Oh, that's the guard.
Yeah. God, what did you give that a high one?
Jeez, we cop some grief for that. If it's going with the guard, it's awesome.
It's up there with 4.17 fuel-injected suicide machine.
Wow, the original.
Oh, stop it.
The original. Wow.
Oh, gee.
But I'm not going to go through them all, but 4.17, we go The Dark Knight,
Yep.
The Matrix, Sexy Beast,
Wow.
The Fugitive, Blood Diamond, and Mad Max Fury Road.
Wow.
Now, it's right above the Batman with 4.13 dropheads, and right below.
How did Blood Diamond get in that?
Blood Diamond's pretty good, Dan.
list?
Watch it again.
Maybe I'll have to watch it again. Yeah.
Watch it
Blood
again.
Diamond is a good movie.
Blood Diamond's good.
LDC being a significant.
But
Jennifer Connelly.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, Shamon.
Yeah. Well done, G. So where does it sit? What number?
It sits, look, if we put it into all of those, 4.17, it sits around the 45 mark.
Okay. Well, it's, top third. Top third. 33%.
Just wondering where Mad Max 2 came in at. I can't find it on here, but anyway.
Have we done it?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
The movies. How many have we done now? How many have you done now?
I've done 154.
Oh, look at you go. Look out.
You've done about 61.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed most of those.
Yeah. Good, thank you. Appreciate that.
The movies.
People, next week we are we're going back to the 80s, and we're going back to not only the director's muse, but I would also go so far as to say, Gow's going to sneeze.
Oh.
Well done, Gal.
God, yeah. You have to get undressed to sneeze, you odd cunt.
We're going to a guy that is not only the director's muse, but also the Born to Watch muse.
Kurt.
We're going to New York, and we're escaping from it.
Oh,
John
Snake
Carpenter's.
Plissken.
Yeah, we're bringing Snake Plissken to Born to Watch with John Carpenter's Escape from New York. Big Lee Van Cleef. Lee Van Cleef. Ernest Borgnine and Harry Dean Morgan.
Oh,
Yes.
Harry Dean
He's in that
Stanton
too.
lookalike. There you go.
Yes. This is going to be a lot of fun. This was a movie
good
that
choice.
circled around early on. We were very close to doing it early on. It just sort of flitted off in the ether as other Kurt movies took precedent. But next week, people, do your homework. Escape from New York. It's a cracker. Week
Do not
after.
Don't get confused with Escape from LA, which eats dead donkeys' dicks.
Yeah, we'll probably never cover Escape from LA.
No.
But we are doing Escape from New York. And just so Dan knows what he's up for the week after.
Oh, yeah.
1986.
Oh, I like it already.
Best Picture winner,
Oh, stop it.
Platoon.
Oh,
Wow.
So that's your 1-2
Going
punch for the next
heavy.
2 weeks.
Wow. Born to watch, bringing
looking
out the
forward
heavy
to a
hitters.
couple of good rewatches there.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Done.
Jeez.
It's
Well
been fun.
played.
It's been fun, gentlemen. Thanks for surviving the cyclone with us. G-Man, well done. Thank you. I know it's been hard on you. Well done.
Been great to be here. See you later.
Daniel, thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure as always.
Thanks to everyone that reached out. We are an essential service, being farmers out here on the land, and I really appreciate all your thoughts and prayers and your offers of staying safe, which always makes me laugh every time someone says to me, stay safe. I giggle a little under my breath and think you're a fuckwit. So thank you, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
People, it's been great. Share to your friends, share to your enemies, and from us here at Born to Watch, stay safe.